If you wake up every morning with blood sugar higher than when you went to bed, if your fasting glucose readings frustrate you despite eating carefully all day, or if you have tried everything to control your overnight blood sugar and nothing seems to work, I need you to stay with me for the next several minutes because what I am about to share could finally explain why your blood sugar misbehaves while you sleep, and more importantly, how to stop it with one simple change. This is not about taking more medication. This is not about eliminating more foods from your diet. This is about understanding what happens inside your body during the night and using that knowledge to work with your biology instead of against it. What I am going to reveal may seem counterintuitive at first. You might think that eating before bed would raise blood sugar, not lower it. But the science tells a different story, and thousands of seniors have discovered that the right bedtime snack can actually stabilize their blood sugar overnight in ways that nothing else could. Let me make you a clear promise right now. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your blood sugar rises while you sleep, even when you have not eaten anything. You will learn the specific food that can prevent these overnight spikes when eaten 30 minutes before bed. And you will have a complete strategy for waking up with stable blood sugar, instead of numbers that make you feel like a failure before your day even begins. I am Dr. James Mitchell. I have spent over 25 years helping seniors manage blood sugar and metabolic health. And one of the most common frustrations I hear is about morning blood sugar readings that do not make sense. Patients come to me feeling defeated. They tell me they ate a perfect dinner, they avoided all snacks, they went to bed with reasonable blood sugar, and then they wake up with readings 20, 30, even 50 points higher than they should be. They cannot understand how their blood sugar went up when they did not eat anything at all. The confusion is understandable, the explanation is not intuitive, but once you understand what is actually happening during the night, the solution becomes clear. And it is simpler than most people imagine. So let me ask you directly. Do you struggle with higher blood sugar in the morning than at bedtime? Have you noticed that skipping evening snacks actually makes your morning readings worse? Write your answer in the comments below because this pattern is incredibly common and understanding it is the first step toward solving it. Let me tell you about a woman named Patricia. Patricia was 69 years old and had been managing type 2 diabetes for about 7 years. She was diligent about her diet. She watched her carbohydrates carefully. She exercised regularly. Her blood sugar during the day was reasonably well controlled, but every morning was a disappointment. Patricia would go to bed with blood sugar around 120 and wake up with readings of 160 or higher. She tried eating dinner earlier. She tried eating less at dinner. She tried eating nothing after 6 in the evening. Nothing helped. Her morning readings stayed stubbornly high. Patricia's doctor told her this was just how diabetes worked for some people. He increased her medication. Her daytime numbers improved even more, but her morning readings barely budged. She felt like her body was working against her. When Patricia came to see me, I explained what was actually happening while she slept, and I introduced her to a simple bedtime strategy that changed everything. Within 2 weeks of implementing this strategy, Patricia's morning blood sugar dropped by an average of 30 points. Within a month, it was consistently in a range she had not seen in years. Her doctor was able to reduce her medication. She finally felt like she had control over her blood sugar. Patricia's story is not unusual. I see this pattern regularly, and the solution works for the same reason every time. Here is what I need you to understand about overnight blood sugar. Your body does not simply hold steady while you sleep. It goes through predictable phases that can dramatically affect your glucose levels by morning. When you sleep, your body still needs fuel to maintain all its functions. Your heart keeps beating, your brain stays active, your cells continue their work. All of this requires energy. If you have not eaten in many hours, your body needs to produce its own glucose to fuel these functions. It does this through a process that happens primarily in the liver. Your liver stores glucose in a form called glycogen and releases it into the bloodstream as needed. But here is where things get complicated for seniors with blood sugar issues. The hormones that regulate this process can become imbalanced, especially in people with insulin resistance or diabetes. In the early morning hours, typically between 3 and 8 in the morning, your body releases hormones that prepare you to wake up. Cortisol rises. Growth hormone is released. Glucagon signals your liver to release more glucose. This is called the dawn phenomenon. For people with normal insulin sensitivity, this morning hormone surge is easily managed. Insulin rises to match the glucose release, and blood sugar stays stable. But for seniors with insulin resistance, the insulin response is inadequate. The liver releases glucose, but there is not enough effective insulin to move it into cells. Blood sugar rises even though you have not eaten anything. This is why Patricia and so many others wake up with higher blood sugar than when they went to bed. It is not about what they ate for dinner. It is about what their liver did during the night. Now here is the key insight that changes everything. When you eat the right food before bed, you can actually moderate this overnight liver response. You can give your body a small, steady source of fuel that tells the liver it does not need to produce as much glucose on its own. The result is more stable blood sugar throughout the night and significantly lower morning readings. But not just any food will work. The wrong bedtime snack will spike your blood sugar when you eat it and leave you with the same high morning readings. The right bedtime snack will provide sustained fuel without spiking glucose and will prevent the excessive liver response that causes the dawn phenomenon. So what is this food? What should you eat 30 minutes before bed to stabilize your overnight blood sugar? The answer is a small serving of protein combined with healthy fat, and one of the best options is a simple handful of nuts. Let me explain why this works so effectively. Nuts contain protein, healthy fats, and fiber with minimal carbohydrates. When you eat them, they digest very slowly. They provide a steady trickle of energy over many hours rather than a spike followed by a crash. This slow, sustained release of energy does two important things. First, it keeps your blood sugar from dropping too low during the night. When blood sugar drops, your liver kicks into high gear producing glucose. By preventing that drop, you prevent the excessive liver response. Second, the protein and fat in nuts help maintain stable insulin levels. This improved hormonal environment makes the dawn phenomenon less severe. Your liver still releases some glucose in the morning, but not as much because your body does not perceive an energy emergency. The best nuts for this purpose are almonds, walnuts, macadamia nuts, and pecans. These have the best ratio of protein and healthy fat to carbohydrates. Cashews and pistachios have somewhat higher carbohydrate content and may not work as well for some people. The portion size matters too. You do not need many nuts to get the effect. About 15 to 20 almonds, or roughly a small handful, is typically enough. More is not better. You want just enough to provide sustained fuel, not so much that you are eating a full meal before bed. Let me tell you about another patient named Robert. Robert was 73 years old and had prediabetes. His doctor had warned him that if his fasting blood sugar did not improve, he would likely need to start medication. Robert was determined to avoid that. Robert had been doing everything he thought was right. He ate a low-carbohydrate dinner and then ate nothing after 7 in the evening. His blood sugar at bedtime was usually good, but every morning it was elevated, sometimes high enough to be in the diabetic range. When I explained the overnight blood sugar mechanism to Robert, he was skeptical. Eating before bed seemed like exactly the wrong thing to do, but he was willing to try. Robert started eating a small handful of almonds about 30 minutes before bed. He was careful to eat only the almonds, no crackers or fruit or anything else that might spike his blood sugar. The first morning after starting this routine, Robert's fasting blood sugar was 15 points lower than usual. He thought it might be a fluke, but the next morning it was lower again. Within 2 weeks, his morning readings had dropped into a range he had not seen in years. Robert returned to his doctor for follow-up blood work. His numbers had improved enough that medication was no longer being discussed. His doctor was impressed and asked what he had done differently. Robert told him about the bedtime almonds. Now I want to expand on this strategy because nuts are not the only option, and some people need additional support for optimal results. Other effective bedtime snacks that work similarly include a small serving of cheese, which provides protein and fat without carbohydrates. Hard cheeses like cheddar, Swiss, or Parmesan work well. About 1 ounce is typically enough. A tablespoon of natural nut butter without added sugar can also work. Almond butter or peanut butter eaten straight or on a small piece of celery provides the protein and fat combination that stabilizes overnight blood sugar. Some people do well with a small portion of full-fat Greek yogurt, plain and unsweetened. The protein and fat content helps maintain stable blood sugar, and the probiotics may provide additional metabolic benefits. Hard-boiled eggs are another excellent option. 1 or 2 eggs before bed provide pure protein and fat with 0 carbohydrates. Many seniors find this to be one of the most effective choices for overnight blood sugar control. The common thread in all of these options is protein and fat, without significant carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, even complex ones, can spike blood sugar in the hours immediately after eating, and a spike at bedtime often translates to high readings in the morning as your body overcorrects. This is why the conventional advice to have a whole grain snack before bed often backfires for seniors with blood sugar issues. The carbohydrates in crackers, bread, or cereal can cause exactly the problems you are trying to avoid. Let me tell you about a woman named Dorothy. Dorothy was 66 years old and had been told to eat a whole grain snack before bed to stabilize her blood sugar. She dutifully ate whole wheat crackers every night. Her morning blood sugar remained stubbornly high. When we tested her continuous glucose monitor data, we could see that the crackers were spiking her blood sugar around 10 at night, and then she was experiencing a significant dawn phenomenon spike on top of that. Her morning readings reflected both problems. When Dorothy switched from crackers to cheese and almonds, her glucose pattern changed completely. There was no spike at bedtime, her blood sugar stayed stable through the night, and her morning readings dropped by an average of 35 points. Dorothy had been following advice that made logical sense on the surface, but was actually wrong for her metabolic situation. Many seniors are in exactly this position, doing what they were told was right and getting worse results because of it. Now let me share some additional strategies that can enhance the effect of your bedtime snack. The timing of your last meal matters significantly. Eating dinner too late can interfere with overnight blood sugar regulation. Your body needs time to digest and process your dinner before you go to sleep. Ideally, you should finish dinner at least 3 hours before bedtime. This allows your blood sugar to stabilize after the meal before sleep hormones begin affecting your metabolism. Then the small protein and fat snack 30 minutes before bed provides just enough fuel to prevent the overnight problems. Apple cider vinegar is another tool that many seniors find helpful. Taking 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar diluted in water before bed has been shown in studies to modestly reduce fasting blood sugar the next morning. The mechanism appears to involve slowing stomach emptying and improving insulin sensitivity. Some people take the vinegar with their bedtime snack. Others take it separately. Either approach can be effective. I recommend starting with 1 tablespoon diluted in at least 8 ounces of water. You can increase to 2 tablespoons if you tolerate it well. Always dilute the vinegar thoroughly to protect your tooth enamel and esophagus. A patient named Thomas added apple cider vinegar to his bedtime routine after the almond strategy had already helped him significantly. His morning blood sugar dropped another 10 points on average with the addition of the vinegar. It was not a dramatic change on its own, but combined with the other strategies, it added up. Physical activity in the evening can also help with overnight blood sugar regulation. A gentle walk after dinner, even just 10 to 15 minutes, helps clear glucose from your bloodstream and improves insulin sensitivity for hours afterward. This does not need to be intense exercise. Intense exercise close to bedtime can actually interfere with sleep. A casual stroll is perfect. It helps process your dinner, lowers blood sugar naturally, and sets the stage for better overnight regulation. Let me tell you about a man named William. William was 71 years old and implemented the bedtime snack strategy with good results. His morning blood sugar improved significantly, but he wanted to do even better. William added a 15-minute walk after dinner every evening. He also added apple cider vinegar before bed. The combination of all 3 strategies brought his morning blood sugar into a completely normal range for the first time in years. William's doctor was amazed at the turnaround. His medication was reduced. His other metabolic markers improved as well. William said he wished someone had explained these strategies to him years earlier. Now I want to address some common questions and concerns about eating before bed. Some people worry that eating before bed will cause weight gain. This concern is understandable given years of advice about not eating late at night. However, the research on this is more nuanced than the simple advice suggests. Weight gain is ultimately about total calories consumed versus calories burned over time. A small protein and fat snack before bed does not add significant calories to your daily intake, especially if it replaces other snacking. And the metabolic benefits of stable blood sugar can actually support weight management rather than hinder it. High blood sugar itself promotes fat storage and makes weight loss more difficult. By stabilizing overnight blood sugar, you may actually find weight management easier rather than harder. Some people experience digestive discomfort if they eat too close to bedtime. If this is a concern for you, experiment with timing. Try eating your snack 45 minutes before bed instead of 30. Or choose easily digestible options like nut butter instead of whole nuts. The goal is to have a small amount of protein and fat in your system as you fall asleep, not to feel uncomfortably full. Start with small portions and adjust based on your individual response. Some people wonder if they should do this every night or only sometimes. For most seniors with overnight blood sugar issues, consistency is important. The strategy works best when your body can rely on that steady fuel source every night. Skipping nights often results in higher morning readings on those mornings. Once your blood sugar stabilizes and you have maintained good readings for several months, you might experiment with occasional nights without the snack. But most people find they get the best results with consistent daily practice. Let me also address the importance of testing and tracking. If you have access to a blood glucose meter, testing your blood sugar before bed and immediately upon waking can provide valuable information about how the strategy is working for you. Everyone's metabolism is slightly different. The exact snack and portion that works best for one person may need adjustment for another. By testing and tracking, you can fine-tune the approach for your specific body. If you have access to a continuous glucose monitor, the data can be even more revealing. You can see exactly what happens to your blood sugar throughout the night and identify patterns you might otherwise miss. I had a patient named Eleanor who used a continuous glucose monitor to optimize her approach. She discovered that almonds worked better for her than cheese, and that her ideal portion was closer to 25 almonds rather than 15. She also found that taking apple cider vinegar at bedtime rather than with dinner gave her better results. This personalization came from tracking her data. Now let me give you a complete step-by-step plan to implement this strategy starting tonight. First, choose your bedtime snack. Good options include 15 to 20 almonds or walnuts, 1 ounce of hard cheese like cheddar or Swiss, 1 tablespoon of natural almond or peanut butter, 1 or 2 hard-boiled eggs, or a 1/4 cup of plain full-fat Greek yogurt. Avoid any snack that contains significant carbohydrates, added sugar, or processed ingredients. Second, time your dinner appropriately. Finish eating dinner at least 3 hours before your planned bedtime. This allows your dinner to digest fully before sleep hormones affect your metabolism. Third, take your bedtime snack about 30 minutes before you plan to go to sleep. This timing allows the food to begin digesting as you fall asleep, providing sustained fuel throughout the night. Fourth, consider adding 1 to 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar diluted in water. You can take this with your snack or immediately after. Start with 1 tablespoon and increase if you tolerate it well. Fifth, if possible, take a gentle 10 to 15-minute walk after dinner. This does not need to be every day to be helpful, but regular evening walks enhance overnight blood sugar control. Sixth, test your blood sugar before bed and immediately upon waking. Track these numbers to see how the strategy is affecting you. Adjust your snack choice and portion size based on your results. Let me share one more story because it illustrates how transformative this simple strategy can be. A man named George was 75 years old and had struggled with morning blood sugar for over a decade. He had tried multiple medications. He had tried extreme dietary restriction. He had tried eating dinner at 4 in the afternoon. Nothing consistently worked. George was tired and frustrated. He felt like his body was broken and there was nothing he could do about it. When George implemented the complete strategy I have described, the changes were dramatic. His morning blood sugar dropped from an average of 170 to an average of 120 within 3 weeks. Within 2 months, it was consistently below 110. George's doctor reduced his medication. His energy improved. He stopped dreading the morning blood sugar check that had started every day with disappointment. George told me that the most frustrating thing was how simple the solution turned out to be. Years of struggle and medication adjustments, and the answer was a handful of almonds before bed. He wished someone had told him sooner. I share George's reaction because I hear it often. These strategies are not complicated. They do not require expensive supplements or difficult lifestyle changes. They simply require understanding how your body works and making small adjustments that work with your biology. Here is what I want you to remember from this video. Overnight blood sugar rises happen because of hormonal processes in your body, not because of what you ate for dinner. The dawn phenomenon causes your liver to release glucose in the early morning hours, and this response is exaggerated in people with insulin resistance. A small snack of protein and healthy fat 30 minutes before bed can prevent the excessive liver response and result in significantly lower morning blood sugar. The best options include nuts, cheese, nut butter, eggs, and plain full-fat Greek yogurt. Avoid carbohydrates in your bedtime snack. Additional strategies that enhance results include finishing dinner 3 hours before bed, taking apple cider vinegar before sleep, and walking gently after dinner. Track your results by testing blood sugar before bed and upon waking. This data helps you personalize the approach for your specific body. The seniors who achieve the best blood sugar control are the ones who understand their body's patterns and work with them strategically. You can be one of those seniors. The information in this video gives you the knowledge to take control. If this information was valuable to you, please share it with other seniors who struggle with morning blood sugar readings. The more people who understand this strategy, the more people can take control of their metabolic health. And if you want more guidance on managing blood sugar and protecting your health as you age, subscribe to this channel. I have much more to share with you about diabetes prevention and healthy aging. Thank you for watching. This is Dr. James Mitchell. Take control of your overnight blood sugar because every day starts with how you wake up.